Hello, MBTI Myers-Briggs fans. This is Ange, Super Ange 128. Now it's Ange time, whatever the heck you want to call me. I saw a bunch of people, well, I guess a few people say or made like a video asking what their MBTI type was based on like making like a 5 to 10 minute video. So it looked kind of fun to try it out sometime. So I just wanted to try it out and totally wing it and try to see if people can guess what my type is based on like how I talk in this video or whatever expressions I make or any tendencies or how I say things. But yeah, I just thought it would be fun to make this, so I'm already 1 minute in, so I'll just get started. I think I have a pretty good idea of what my type or my Myers Briggs type is. Like after like asking a crap ton of topics like on the Myers Briggs subreddit or a bunch of discords or like doing a lot of what you call it, those functions research like through multiple sites. So but anyways, that aside, I'm just gonna leave out what I think my type is, both Myers Briggs and Enneagram, just to make it less like unbiased, because I don't want to like set like a precedent, like, oh well, he thinks that he's his type, so I'll confirm or deny based on that. But anyways, I guess to start describing myself, I like to think of myself as a really habitual person. Like, let's see, ever since like I was a kid, I had a tendency to always wake up and eat the same damn thing for breakfast. Usually it was cereal. I mean, I got different cereals in the grocery store, like like depending on my mood, but for the most part I was like cereal, milk. Then when you're done, take a shower, go to school, blah 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 blah. These days, instead of, I kind of got tired of cereal. Like, I want to say 5-ish years ago, and I moved on to smoothies. There's a smoothie place that I'm really addicted to. Place I'm really addicted to that's like 5-10 minutes away from here, but I make it a point to go there like almost every morning, except when I'm like really lazy. Then I'll make like a really simple Japanese dish with like a rice, eggs, and natto, which is soybeans. Um, the hardest thing that was hard for me to like decide on, like when choosing my type, is how there's feeler and thinking types. I like to think I uh, I value both in a way. I mean, every human in the world feels and thinks, because or else we'd either be overly emotional or overly cold and logical. So I don't know. I like to have like a good balance of feelings and logic. Like when I'm hanging out with people, like I try not to take sides when possible when it comes to people. Like, let's say that, okay, I'm hanging out with like a group of 3 people, and they all have different personalities, like, and different interests, but we somehow all get along, and maybe we have like one thing in common. Like, I'm gonna mostly, I think I have a tendency to like try to stay in agreement with all of them as much as possible. Like, I hate like starting shit. Like, conflict is like something I just always avoid no matter what. Like, if something's really bothering me, I'll try to hide it as long as possible. And even though it's like I'm really like secretly triggered or whatever, but usually it doesn't get to like a point to where like I explode in anger or whatever. But I'm usually pretty good at like at least in my opinion, like staying pretty calm. Though sometimes I've been told that even when if I don't say anything, it's kind of obvious. Sometimes it's kind of obvious when I'm thinking, even when I'm like, if like something's annoying me. Sometimes I'll like have like a little annoyed face or really semi pissed off face. Like, hey, what you're doing is like fucking up. But I just don't. If possible, I'd like to like. I'm usually pretty good at like hiding words that I really want to say. So yeah, but I suppose as far as like balancing feeling and thinking that which I was talking about earlier, uh, I mean, usually like with like the average person, like people I'm not really close with, I'm usually really quiet, mostly because like I just try to make sure I really don't say the right thing or say the wrong right thing, say the wrong thing, and I I mean if someone like tells me like asks me a question like what my opinion is on stuff, I'm honest. I'll answer as truthfully as I can. Like I don't like keeping. I mean, I know there's like the whole effy thing of oh I'm just gonna change my opinions to match his or something like that. I generally don't like change my opinion, but more so like I'll kind of say my opinion in like a neutral way. Like I'm trying to think of an example that's not like really chicken. So let's say like there's a guy who really doesn't like the Star Wars prequels, and that's a pretty common opinion. But I personally like them a lot. But I mean, I can understand why people wouldn't like them. I mean, if you like the original trilogy and you notice like a lot of the flaws of the prequels, you're not gonna. I mean, it's understandable. I mean, secretly inside, I wish that people did like them, and I get kind of sad slash maybe that they don't like it. But usually, what would bother me more is if they were to like pull off this hateful, oh, anyone who likes the Star Wars prequels like isn't a real fan of Star Wars or blah blah blah. Like, but usually I would like kind of keep that in, but I would just like usually my response would be like, yeah, no, I can understand like why. I would usually just like respond by saying like I can understand like why you would think that and blah blah blah, and maybe try to like just give like more objective reasons. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess maybe like the acting could have been better in certain parts, and I guess if you're used to like the way the plot was like the plot went in the original trilogy, it wouldn't really bother you. It would kind of bother you with the way people handle things. But that aside, um, I guess another thing that relates to like thinking. I don't know if like this is like an SITITE or whatever, but I mean, if like someone like asks me a question, like I usually like speak in really specific or like I try to be as like honest and direct as possible. I mean, like not in a way that says like, oh, if like some like a girl like asks me, oh, do I look fat? And it's just like, yeah, you look fucking ugly or something stupid like that, because that's plain hurtful and wrong. I mean, and I guess in that severe situation, I would probably pull the oh yeah, you look good. But like if like there was like someone, like, I'm trying to think of a good example, but like I guess if when I get man, yeah, I'm totally blinking out right now. But I think it interestingly, the I try when I'm the closer I am to somebody, the more direct and honest I am with them. So like for example, like my brother who I live with in my apartment, I'm like super close with him and stuff. Like if he like is gonna ask me an opinion of him or something, I'm gonna like be like as honest and direct. Like no, I didn't really like this, or I think this part of your video, because my brother likes to. make music and stuff. But personally, I'm not really into the type of music he does. He's kind of like does a little like a pop rock style, and he likes to sing a lot, which kind of annoys me. But I know he likes to do his music, so I respect it as long as he just doesn't get too annoying about it. Like if I think he's getting too annoying, I'll like say, hey, I'll either close the door usually, or if it's like even too loud, otherwise I'll probably just like ask him to like lower it or something. But oh my god, my movie's over 10 minutes. I think I guess I can talk myself better than I think I can, but yeah, but okay, so feeling thinking aside, like I used to like I was really well, I guess I didn't say thinking aside. Yeah, as you notice, there's like a lot of times in my previous video that I like to go back and change what I was or repeat, no, fix what I said because I have like a big tendency to like make sure what I said was correct. Like I think it's just me being really self-conscious and like I gotta make sure I say exactly what I mean. Like that's a thing I do commonly that I wasn't sure is T or TI, and I know, and I think some, some like I thought I think I have a pretty good idea of TTI, like conceptually, but like I don't know, a lot of the things that are described in the Myers Briggs functions are kind of a little too abstract. So, like, when like people like quote Jung quotes and like how he talks about things like, oh, well, NI types have like these mystical or whatever. Like, I'm just like, whoa, that's I don't. Your language, the language you guys are speaking, is too hard for this stupid mind to understand. And I know I don't really think I'm stupid. I just like to use self-deprecating humor all the time. But I usually when I'm like trying to, I like to when I get into things like Myers Briggs or video games or anime, which I like I like to do like a good amount of research just to like make sure I really know something. Because I mean, and when I for stuff like Myers Briggs, where like even though I'm pretty confident I know about like how stuff goes, I'm still not like 100% to the point where I can be like, oh, I can just kind of look at how people are talking and I think they're so and so type because I see blah 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 functions in him. So I kind of I mean, me might just be a possible censor thing, but I kind of wish more like Myers Briggs functions and Enneagram, which I'm actually trying to learn right now, which is even more confusing than Myers Briggs, and I'm still trying to struggle to figure out what Enneagram type I am for there. But I kind of prefer if functions were a little more like the description, like more concrete, like with maybe like simple few paragraphs saying, "Oh, this is like what NE is like," and this I don't. I mean, obviously, we don't want like the typical stereotypes, like, oh well, NE types are just always in their head and making their dreams or stuff, or like TE types just like to be commanding and want results, blah blah blah. Because I can understand why. I think that's a reason why people try to stick to like the concept of like the abstract concepts of Jung because they're less focused on the stereotypes, which I can understand. Stereo anything really that's just only focused on the stereotypes of things just gets pretty lame, and makes people judge things in an incorrect way. I mean, it's good to see like how things really are as opposed to just, oh well, this is what stereotypes say. It's clearly it must be true. I mean, but at the same time, I can understand why people would go to stereotypes because in a way, a bunch of them are true. I just don't think. I just think sometimes you should actually kind of, get past the stereotypes and if you want to like be really open-minded, as some people claim they are, you should try to be more thoughtful uh, of the judgments you make of other people. And okay, I guess my recording is now 15 minutes. I might be kind of big for YouTube, so I'll try to just wrap this up because I feel like I actually talked quite a bit about myself, but I'll just quickly just touch upon a few things that I think would be helpful in typing me without going too long. But so, just random more things about myself. Um, I'm like I consider myself like a really organized person. Like God, I have a lot of I keep a lot of random notes about things I like in Google Keep. I like using things like my anime list or my video game list to keep track of video games and anime I've watched, etc. Um, I'm even though I don't know how social I get, or how talkative I am, but when I'm like in a group of people, I'm like super quiet. I'm usually the most quiet person in the room, even with close friends. I mean, I'll say things when I can, but usually I kind of like just hearing what other people are saying or doing more. And I guess some kind of just sometimes I some of the opinions I have or things I like just aren't things that people also like. So I try to just keep quiet about it unless I know for sure I'm not gonna like trigger like a negative response from people, because the last thing I want to start is just like someone going, "Oh, that thing's fucking stupid. It's the fucking worst thing ever." Blah blah blah, and then they exaggerate and they rant, and I just don't want to. I don't really like starting that shit. Um, it's funny, even though uh, I say I'm a really quiet person, and I probably have like little bits of uh, like the way I describe is probably a bit of social anxiety, maybe just me not being self confident enough to talk about what I like in person. Like I'm really I consider myself like really social online, which is crazy compared to how much I talk in real life, which isn't that much. But I don't know. I like. Let's see. Um. Okay. I'm in a shit ton of Discord chats. I want to say I'm in like a little over 30, and oh man, I mean most of them are uh stuff or just like games. I like mostly fighting games, which I'm really into at the moment. I'm a mod of like at least five of them. I mean, two of them are just private ones for my friends, but and admittedly I mute like at least five to or don't visit 5 to 10 of them that often because I don't know, I just don't like them as much of the things as I like the other ones. But I like to order the stuff I like or the Discords like being from like top to bottom, like almost in a weird micromanagey way. Like, oh, this recently I've been more into watching. I've been more into like let's say playing Street Fighter over and talking with people there over liking, let's say, talking about the Phoenix Wright Attorney series, which I only go in more often when like a new game comes out, which is like every like 3 years or so. Um, I have a bad habit of kind of staying in my comfort zone a little too much. Like even though like I wanted to make this video for fun, like I was like kind of I was probably just like typical stage fright because I'm not used to like talking in front of people, especially in a really casual way. But I was like really hesitant like should I really do this? I don't know, I didn't even think. I think in my mind would just automatically went having these self doubts like, oh, why are you doing this? This isn't something you usually do. I'm like, oh well, but I'm like, you know what? It's not good. But then I thought about, it's not going to be that bad. I mean, what's the worst people are going to do? Say I'm like an ugly piece of shit, or you talk like an awkward person, or you get off the internet. I mean, just gonna. I mean, even if they do say that, they're probably just. I could sit make a really bad joke, but I don't really want to. But generally, they're probably not the type of people opinions I should care about, because they're just not going to be constructive, and they're just going to be really dumb and make dumb comments. But yeah, this video is over 20 minutes now, so I think we'll just wrap it up here. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you can get an idea of what my Myers-Briggs type, and especially my Enneagram type, which I'm been figuring out, trying to figure out these last few weeks. And even though I've been doing research, I just can't figure it out. But yeah, if you have an idea of what my type is, both in Myers-Briggs and Enneagram, just let me know in a comment or whatever. All right, sounds good. Testing, 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 testing. Ah, do you read?